In this video, I'm going to share what is actually needed creative-wise when it comes to scaling to $1 million a month and above that. And I'm going to share, let's say, the biggest mistakes that brands do that, let's say, get stuck at 100K per month or 50K per month or even 500K per month, and what holds them back from scaling to $1 million a month. I can say, I can share experiences because I have my own brand, obviously, own 8-figure brand, but then also I, mentor founders on all the different stages, right? From going from 10K to 100K, going from 100K to 500K, going from 500K to $1 million a month, right? With their e-commerce brands. So I have a pretty good overview on what's working on every single stage and what's important on every single stage, and then what you need to change in order to get to the next stage. So that's what I want to make this video about, because what I see, and this is really let's cut straight to the point. What I see a lot, too often, is that people, once they found winning creatives, they get lazy, right? They just get lazy. They say, oh, well, it's working. Now, winning creative for me means you can scale the creative, week by week by week, which is great, right? And you should do that. I advocate for that. But at the same time, you need to remember one thing. All of a sudden, instead of spending, let's say, $500 or $1,000 a day, you're spending 5K a day or 10K a day. And yes, this creative might work, but you don't know how long it will work. And your success, and I'm talking about, so success for me is predictability, right? It's not just having one 500K month, right? With, I don't know, a couple of a big flash sale and a launch or whatever the case may be. Almost every brand can do that, yeah? I mean, if it's 500K or 100K, whatever, it's your record month, right? You can do that, cool. You can do it one time, but can you do it consistently? Can you do it every single month, no matter what? Even if it's a bad month, you still do 500K, you still do $1 million a month, right? And this is what separates the 0.1% from all the other brands. Can you do that? And what's behind that is, what do you have to do? What are your inputs as a brand so that you can actually get into a position where you can consistently spend 10K, 20K per day, and still, get the results that you want. And back to what I was saying earlier, the mistake that most of the brands do is they just rely on these winners. But you have to think, these winners come from $1,000 per day ad spend, right? You have to see, and you will see how they perform at 5K per day, right? And at the same time, you need to prepare yourself. You need to put in more creatives, and I'll get to that in a second, what type of creatives. You need to put in more creatives that enable you to continue to increase the budgets, even when your winner is not performing anymore, right? So it's one thing to find a winner, right? I have a bunch of videos on that. I will make a bunch more in the future, obviously, because it's a very important topic. But even if you found a winning creative and you're like, yeah, nice, this is not the moment to chill and to relax. I'm sorry, right? I don't know when this moment really comes, right? Maybe it's actually wrong to think about it that way. You find this one creative and then everything is solved. This is not the case. That's where it all starts, right? And that has to be your mindset, right? So nice, you found a winner. Question, what's next? What's the next winner, right? What is the next creative that enables you to spend 2 times what you're spending now after you're scaling, right? So it's really about, pushing on the inputs. And now let's talk about the inputs. So that was the first part. It's really the mindset, and not just relaxing and chilling after you found a winner. This is nothing. Those are the brands that, they maybe scale up for a month or 2 or 3, and then it doesn't work anymore. And then, like, if you're trying to, create winning creatives when everything is going down already, you're too late, right? You just missed an opportunity, and you were chilling too much when you had the results. So it's easy to be, relaxed and chilled and everything is cool while you're scaling. But that's not what you want to do, right? And the brands that understand that it's a continuous game, it's a marathon, and even if you find a winner or you don't find a winner, you don't change your approach, meaning you consistently push in high quality creatives, right? This can never change. It doesn't matter what the results are, right? So this is why I always say, like, people are so attached to, oh, what's the return on ad spend today? What's the return on ad spend yesterday? To some extent it matters. To another one, it doesn't matter at all, because it doesn't tell me anything on what you're doing right now, right? It doesn't. It's a lag metric. I don't know if you know the book 4DX, which is about essentially like how to optimize the execution in your company and stuff. It's a little bit from a different perspective, but still it applies. Like the same principles apply. There are lead metrics and there are lag metrics, and return on ad spend today is a lag metric. Revenue this month is a lag metric. This doesn't tell me anything about what are you doing to affect the revenue, the future revenue. It doesn't tell me anything, right? So, having a couple of creatives that work, nice, cool, but that's not the goal. Our goal is to have to have a machine, to build a system that pushes out high quality creatives all the time, no matter what the return on ad spend today is or the last week or whatever the case may be, right? This cannot be our focus when it comes to new creatives. So this is something that I see a lot. Anyways, now, next point. Now that we talked about mindset, once you got this box ticked, then it's about, okay, what are the inputs that I push in? And again, this is something where I see a lot of brands just taking the easy route and then asking themselves, why is it not working, right? The CPA is going up. What should we do? And then you try to find the solution in the ads manager, try to question your setup, try to question, a bunch of stuff. Oh, shouldn't we do like traffic campaigns and stuff like that? Shouldn't we need another channel, right? So this is all like trying to fix like a surface problem, but the real root cause of this problem is that you haven't put enough work into Meta. That's what it is. Like, you cannot tell me that you cannot scale any further when you're making like $500,000-600,000 a month, when there are brands in your niche making like multiple millions a month through Meta and spending multiple millions a month, right? So it just doesn't add up. And more often than not, brands they don't understand the game, and they're not willing to play the game the way it suits Meta, right? So that we can grow our business. That's what it is. And one thing when it comes to inputs is you have to have continuity. You cannot just expect to, push out like creatives once a month and then, or like just have like weeks where you don't upload any new creatives, right? This just tells me that it's inconsistent, and then your inputs are inconsistent, so your outputs will be inconsistent, right? So one thing when it comes to inputs is push at least 3 net new creative batches every single week. That's what I preach to everybody. Very simple, right? This at least gives you like 3 different creative batches. Each batch has like 3 to 5, let's say, variations of that creative. So you're left with, let's say, 9 to 15 at the very minimum, okay, of creatives, net new creatives, right? So new concepts, not just iterations. Plus iterations on what's working, right? So this means like hooks, right? Iterating on hooks, maybe changing the structure of your winning ad, right? Having a lead, like a little bit of a longer intro to your winning ad. But this is just on top, right? So in best case, you should be, having like 30 unique ads going live every single week, right? It's not best case, but that's okay, right? And this has to be your mindset. Now, we talked about quantity. Let's talk about quality. And this is another one where I see a lot of brands trying to take shortcuts. I mean, why would you take shortcuts? You shouldn't be. If you're taking shortcuts, like if you're cheating the game will cheat you. That's just what it is, right? If you're trying to cheat Meta will cheat you. So you need to understand what are the creatives that have the highest potential impact on my business growth. And a lot of brands, that what they do is, what I see a lot is they just I'm not talking about my clients specifically, because those are things that we really like I fix immediately, right? I fix them immediately once they come in and prime them on what is actually needed to see consistent results. But what I see a lot in audits and like just brands that you talk to, and also brands before they work with me, is just pushing up creatives for the sake of pushing up creatives, right? Just uploading creatives for the sake of uploading creatives. And then it's easy to do let's say static ads with an offer that have a high return on ad spend in the ads manager. But the question that I ask myself is, are those the creatives that really help you to grow your business? And more often than not, the answer to the question is no. They just look good in the ads manager, right? They have when you look at the frequency, and I talk a lot about frequency, they have insanely high frequencies, and they have a super inflated return on ad spend, which means they're just retargeting of the retargeting of the retargeting. This doesn't change anything, right? You can push like hundreds of those creatives and nothing will change. You cannot increase your budgets. That's what people don't understand. So your focus has to be to produce top of funnel creatives that hook in the right people, position your product as the solution to their problem. If you have a problem, let's say more problem-based product, let's say. I think all products are in some way problem-based, but some are more explicit than others. And you need to find these types of ads. What are the top of funnel ads? What are the ones that I can push and have a low frequency on while having a certain CPA, right, a certain cost per acquisition, so that I can fuel my funnel with relevant eyeballs, not just any eyeballs, but relevant eyeballs, right? And then all of these other creative types, they are basically getting in front of an audience that is matching with what I'm selling, right? So very, very simple. And if you respect these things, if you understand, like just to summarize quickly, if you understand like what does it take to actually win in this platform, and directly like note down, it's going to be 10 times, if not 50 times or 100 times more than you think it is. But this is good. Like if you think this way, you're already ahead of all these brands that just, assume or just expect that Meta does the job for them when they upload like a couple of ad creatives every single month. And the second thing is then, when it comes to inputs, that you make sure that you actually push in relevant creatives. And the third point is these relevant creatives should be top of funnel creatives, like creatives that can single-handedly alter the trajectory of your ad account and of your business ultimately, right? If you respect these three things, then you're in a way, way better position to make things work, consistently, and actually grow your business. Not just, not to just like 1 month where you do 500K or 1 month where you do $1 million, but you actually have that consistently. So yeah, that was that from somewhere near Milano in Italy, as you can see in the background. And I hope that these tips helped you. I hope these tips give you value. Make sure to implement them. Comment below. Let me know if if you actually saw value from that, and what want to know more about, so I can share more of that. And yeah, if you are in a position where you say, man, I kind of know what to do, but I don't want to just like do all the mistakes that, for example, me, like by myself, I did. And I just want to have someone on my side that I can, ask, that shows me the way, so I can just execute the way and just learn more efficiently, while still owning everything, owning the whole strategy, owning the whole, paid ads acquisition, because you don't want to be scammed by any agencies anymore. Then click the first link in the video, in the description below the video. This is exactly what I do in my mentoring, right, in my mentorship. And I don't work with everybody, but I work with people that are, I'm very selective to, whom I work with whom I work with. But the people that I work with, I can already tell you, they are the ones that they are eager to learn. They want to own the acquisition. They don't want to just give it away to somebody and expect stuff. They really take full responsibility, and they're just open to feedback. They want to learn. They squeeze me. They really want to understand and get my input and then implement it. And yeah, that's how people see crazy results, right? I mean, I've helped founders go from like 15K to now doing like 400K consistently, right? Others with 40K per month go to $1 million a month consistently, right? And I can go on and on and on and on. Another one, 50K, I just recently cracked like the 400K as well, right? So all this in a couple of months without any agency involved, right? So imagine like how much profit they save every single month, by not paying like crazy performance retainers to any outsiders, and they can use this profit and just invest it into more growth, into more product development, into team, into so many things, right? So if you're in that position and you say, that's the route that I want to explore, yeah, as I said, just click the link in the description, check out the video where I explain more, who I can help, which different tiers essentially, and then yeah, and then we'll see if there's a fit, and if and how I could help you potentially. All right, so take care, see you in the next one. Bye bye from Italy.